So far away, Lucas, what's your favourite sound clip from an old video game?
There's got to be Link just wailing around like, yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's a pretty good one. So I'm not sure if you noticed in the intros, I like to put like a sound clip over the Fact Fiend intro, informed by what the opening discussion was. So I'm definitely putting the link like, Kia! Like, you just like think so. What's better, like the adult Link, Kia, or the young Link, like, whoa!
Well, I was going to mention, I think my favourite one might be in Wind Waker when you can unlock like a mega spin. And he's just like screaming for like a solid 10 seconds as he just spins around the screen.
And you know he's only doing it because he wants to throw up. Mario. Yes, that's his full name. Because Lucas, you've been on TikTok, right? Isn't that the thing everyone's sharing now? Did you know Mario's last name is Mario?
Did you know that the Mario brother's last name is actually Mario?
That sucks for Luigi, doesn't it? What's my name? Luigi Mario. Oh. The eternal understudy, indeed. Suffice to say, Mario is a pretty popular character and he casts an imposingly long shadow over the entire medium of video games. And with decades of banger games and now a hit movie under his belt, like didn't he recently make like $1 billion or something?
Yeah, it's on its way to potentially be the highest grossing animated movie ever, but we're recording, it's just like recently hit over $1 billion.
And I still can't believe what the number one is. And what is the number one animated movie in terms of box office gross at the time of recording this, Lucas?
Well, of course, it's Lion King, right?
Yeah, that makes sense. The Lion King was a great movie. Oh, no, wait. It's not that Lion King. It's that Lion King movie.
The one without any emotion in the characters' faces. Great.
Yep. Kind of sucks that, doesn't it? Anyway, arguably part of the reason Mario's remained popular for all these years is his squeaky clean reputation. If you ignore the fact that for about 2 decades, fans of his and his games argued about whether or not he called his longtime foe Bowser gay. And more than anything, Lucas, this video is just more an excuse to talk about the history of video games and the impact Mario 64 had on them, and just the amusing tidbit that for about 2 decades, fans of that game thought that Mario called Bowser gay. So let's just get the fact right out of the way now, Lucas. What are we talking about? 'Cause you must know this, yes?
Of course, yes. And I just want to clarify that, like, this is one of those things where it's never been seen as a derogatory thing. It's just people being like, did he just call Bowser gay? Like, is that what I just heard?
Well, it's similar to like the Berenstein Bear situation, where it's more just this strange like phenomenon that simultaneously affected a bunch of people once. Like, wait, did Mario actually say that? And because the game was released in the age before the widespread adoption of the internet, like a bunch of people discovered it independently, and then when the internet happened, it was like, oh yeah, Mario called Bowser gay in the final fight. It's like, wait, what? You thought that as well? And the reason this is so fascinating to me is that millions of people discovered this independently and then realised, wait, you also thought that happened? So let's set the scene. Where does this happen in Mario 64, Lucas?
So this happens, I'm not sure, because, it's been a while since I've played Mario 64, been a couple of years. And I can't remember whether it's every Bowser fight or whether it's just the final Bowser fight, because there are multiple throughout the game. But as Mario grabs Bowser by the tail, swings that big boy around and throws him, he says, like, so long, King Bowser.
Yes.
But the line was read a bit weird, and there's also, like, the audio recording quality, that the compression on the N64,
it's
like,
not great.
Kind of made it sound like Mario was calling him gay Bowser, not King Bowser.
Yes. So, like, no doubt a clip of what Lucas is talking about will, follow what he just said.
So long, gay Bowser. So long, gay Bowser. So long, gay Bowser. So long, gay Bowser.
But to clarify, the fact we're discussing today is not that Mario called Bowser gay, it's that millions of people thought that he did, and that Nintendo never bothered to correct that for some reason. Because when I researched this, I thought surely, like, Nintendo must have at some point released a statement saying, no, that's not what he's saying, or like, a script for the game must have, like, leaked somewhere online. It's like, no, for about a decade and a half, just everyone was acting under the assumption that Mario called Bowser gay, and no one bothered to correct it. And that's just really amusing to me, because it really does sound like he's saying that.
So long, gay Bowser.
It does, and then the moment someone, tells you, if you haven't heard it, you never stop hearing it afterwards. But, like, it's so weird because, Nintendo could have just put out like a little piece of like tidbit in Nintendo Power back in the day or something of
fun
we've
fact,
heard a
did you
few
know?
people have like misheard the line. He says, "So long, King Bowser" at the end of the game.
But they never did. And it's like one of those things, it's the like the video game equivalent of like manual breathing or people pointing out you can see the end of your nose. It's like once it's been pointed out to you, you can never unhear it. And as mentioned, this was like a running like joke in the gaming community for years of like to the point where I think like at AGDQ, like you get the entire crowd screaming at the same time when people speedrun Mario 64. Like the entire crowd, like that's how ingrained it is in gaming culture. That's just what Mario says.
And I was going to say, Carl, there's like another thing that when you see it in gaming, you can't unsee it, and you're going to be very aware of this one.
Yeah.
And it's just the Resident Evil 6 logo.
Oh yeah. Let's talk about some of the things like that from gaming. Like the Resident Evil 6 logo, which will be behind me now. Just like it comes out, that's a pretty cool logo. Just like I think day one, a giraffe getting a blowjob. Never unsee it. The 2012 Olympics in the UK, Lisa Simpson giving a blowjob. Can't unsee it.
Oh,
like, you can never unsee it. The GoldenEye 64 cover where it's like, James Bond's fist with the gun. Makes it like he's got a really wide mouth. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. And gaming and media in general is full of things like that, and they are all hilarious. But this one in particular is so interesting to me because, as mentioned, it would have been so easy to correct. Like you said, Nintendo could have put like a little thing like, fun fact, like often misheard is the last line Mario says in Mario 64. What he actually says is this, or a script could leak. But no, Nintendo remained, as they often do, frustratingly opaque about their practices and the things going on behind the scenes. And as a result, this fact permeated throughout gaming culture to the point where it's just what everyone assumed was going on. And it wasn't actually until I think like a decade and a half after the game came out where we got actual confirmation on what is being said. And as you mentioned, it's so long, King Bowser.
So long, King Bowser.
And how do we know that?
I believe that was just the voice actor for Mario, Charles Martin, out one day was like, "I've had enough. Just people have been asking me for like 15 years. It's just King Bowser."
Yeah.
Right?
So, like as Lucas mentioned, the voice actor for Mario did confirm, I think on Twitter, was just like, "Hey, what is it Mario says at the end of like 64?" And he said, "Well, the script says so long, King Bowser." And that doesn't sound too much like so long, gay Bowser. So you realise that Mario is saying that line with a faux Italian accent. So long, King Bowser. And then you've got to add on the distortion to the voice. So then it's like, so long, King Bowser, King Bowser, King Bowser, Gay Bowser, Gay Bowser, Gay Bowser. That's how it occurs. But the fact it took a decade and a half for Charles Martinet to be like, yeah, I'm saying this.
I can't believe it was actually Chris Pratt that broke the news.
It's just a quick one today. But I just thought that was really funny that for years people argued about this. And what makes this so hilarious, though, is that Nintendo, as mentioned, never acknowledged it. And in fact, seemingly tried to cover it up. Because when they released the remaster, which I'm using in the loosest possible sense, I could probably write that descriptor off of my tax returns as a charitable contribution, of Mario 64, what did they do, Lucas?
What did they do to that version?
They changed the line. They changed it to the line that's in the Japanese version.
Yes, and you're gonna have to remind me on this one because we played this one on my YouTube channel a while ago, and I remember the line being changed now that you mentioned it, but I can't remember what it got changed to.
They changed it to bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Which is what he says in the Japanese version, because they just remastered the Japanese version. But the inadvertent effect of that is that it just reignited the rumours of so long, gay Bowser, and as a result, the millions of people who thought that's what was being said, acted like that was confirmation that it was, because Nintendo removed it. And it's like, no, they
censored it,
They just remastered the Japanese version, and Nintendo's not going to do more work than they need to sell a Mario game, let's be honest.
Yeah, they are not re-recording a line to, change something from a Nintendo 64 game. They're just gonna slap a fucking remastered on top of it and just be like, there you go.
Yeah, they're going to do that
Mario, go buy it
into 16:9. Like, you know what, 60 quid, bish bosh, job done. But the act of doing that just reignited those rumours, and as a result, there are still millions of people out there who think that's what Mario's saying, and that is pretty funny. Just one of the characters with the squeakiest clean reputation in all of gaming. There's just this long-standing, persistent rumour that he calls his arch rival gay, and if anything, that makes the casting of Chris Pratt all the more mad.
And I think as well... God damn it, Carl. And I think the weirdest part of this is maybe the timing of it as well, because this was the first time that Mario had officially had, like, voice clips in a video game.
In a game, yes.
So people had been, you know, maybe, okay, some people had watched, like, the TV shows or whatever, but officially in-game...
Or Lucas.
The Super Show.
The show, which I have on VHS, in which he talks like a fucking... Like, he just talks like guys on, like, 40 a day.
It probably was a guy who was on 40 a day.
I can't quit now, Luigi. I was born with a plunger in my hand.
I know. Boy was awfully hard on Mom.
And the fact someone's probably screaming in the comments that we mentioned in a video a few years ago is that Charles Martinet's first official appearance as Mario was in like an ARG, like Mario interactive system at like E3 one year. Where do you like the screen from like Mario 64 where it's like Mario's face? It was that, and you could go up and talk to it, and it was Charles Martinet responding.
Because we're going to be in a face mask with things glued to my face, and I would move my face, and Mario would move his face. I thought I'd never seen Mario. I didn't know who he was. I didn't know what what I was going in for.
Because he initially went for the same kind of voice they use in this show, but then he realised, well, that's probably not going to be the most endearing thing for kids, and you're probably going to get sick of hearing that after about 5 minutes. You want Mario to sound like, exciting, approachable, like something that, akin to like, a cartoon character in a kid's show. So he thought about, so he went from just being like, I'm the Mario Brothers to Mario!
And I thought, instead of a voice that's gruff and harsh, I want to do something that children be more pleased to have, and, more gentle and more, embracing and more fun, and just by great circumstance, that's the voice that came out was, it's me, Mario.
Yeah, I mean, like, you've got to make sure that Mario sounds happy as fuck every time he jumps, right?
Yeah, and I love that Mario's character hasn't really changed much over the years, but the biggest change that they've committed to, and I adore them for it, is that Mario just fucking loves jumping. There's nothing Mario loves more than jumping and being mid-backflip, because all he ever does is like, wahoo! He loves it! He loves jumping! He's never happier than when he's flying through the air, or in like, speed runs of Mario 64, where he's just sliding ass backwards up an infinite staircase. Like an absolute legend.
And I think it would be incredible, like, at that moment in time, to be like, you've played, like, the NES and SNES games, and, this Mario is a cool character, and then Mario 64, he's finally got a voice line and said, why is he calling someone gay? What's going on?
Yeah.
Like,
and to clarify, Mario, as Lucas said at the beginning of the video, like, nobody thinks that Mario's using this pejorative way. It's just one of those things that you mishear it, and then you can't not ever hear it the misheard way ever again.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of funny that, one of the most squeaky clean video game characters seemingly is saying this like really naughty word. For example, we mentioned The Lion King earlier. There's that famous bit in The Lion King where the clouds spell out sound FX, like SFX, but everyone misreads it as sex. And no one thinks that's what it says. It's just really funny that it looks like it says that, given how family-friendly Disney tried to be.
And I know you, like, I just want to cover your ass a bit of, like, you said it, like, gay was, like, a naughty word, but you're thinking, like, in the frame of, like, being a kid when you're told, like, oh, don't say that word, and then Mario's just, like, blurting it out in a boss battle, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, like using the term gay as a pejorative, and that's what it sounds like. And we know that's not the case, it's just funny that it sounds like that. And at the start of the recording, Lucas, I asked you for your favourite video game sound effect. I'd like to invite the audience watching at home to, let us know your favourite old school video game sound effects in the comments. Before that, let's do some business. And you have a new role on the Fact Fiend channel, yes?
That is correct. I am now our community and social media manager, which apparently we never had before.
Oh, can you believe it? We never had someone looking after our socials. And Lucas, one of your new duties is making following us and supporting us on those aforementioned socials a lot more enticing for viewers who choose to do so. And one of the things you'll be doing is giving away free merch, yes?
That is correct, Carl.
So how exactly is that going to work?
So, because obviously we're working in collaboration with Psycho Apparel, and we're trying to also, give away merch for free to people, we are asking for a little bit of support. So when you are supporting us on Patreon, at any tier, you will have access to a monthly competition, and it will vary. Every single month, and we're just going to try something out a bit different, so we're not pigeonholing people into like one type of category every time, but one person every month will be selected as the winner of that competition, and you will get access to a free piece of merch from us.
Yes, and to clarify, you don't have to pick some of our merch, although it'd be nice if you did. You'll be able to get anything from Psycho's store, including their one-offs and their pre-orders. We'll sort all that out on the back end because we have like a direct link to them, and it can all be arranged for you. So all you need to do is, if you are one of the winners, just pick what you like. We'll sort it out for you and get it delivered to your address free of charge. As thanks for supporting us on Patreon. And as Lucas mentioned, just all you'll need to do is just enter a mini competition once a month, which might involve submitting a caption for a photo, an idea for a Photoshop challenge, a fun fact for us to share in a video. And we're hoping to turn a lot of this stuff into content for the side channel so that people can feel like they've had influence over the stuff we're creating. And I'm just excited for that. So if that does sound interesting to you, you can follow us at the links below or support us on Patreon. But Lucas, I want to talk about video game sound effects now, because that's enough promotion. I don't like doing self-promotion, but I do like the noises from old school video games. And let's just start with the Mario series as a whole. And what's your favourite noise from the Mario series?
I think it might have to be like Mario 64 when you just fall down a well. Like anytime you just fall off an island or whatever, and it's like the wah.
Oh, I think I can do that one pretty good, of like the wah. That one's real good. I like that one. I'm also a huge fan of the noise that plays when you get the fly cap. Do you know, like the song that plays afterwards, like the remix, like the Spanish guitar almost, like a little remix of the theme, like dun 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 dun. It's like woo. I always like that one, but folks at home, let us know in the comments if you have a favourite old school video game noise. But is there any other older games, like you mentioned Legend of Zelda? I'm guessing like you're a big fan of the da 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 da. That's gotta be one for you. Of course,
yeah.
You must be like Pavlov's dog when that noise happens. Right? You must just start salivating with the loot. There's loot somewhere.
I think one of my favourite ones is like from a series that I like. I have appreciation for, but I don't play too much or anything. And it's like the noise of your like crew babbling to one another in Star Fox, like the wow.
Oh, that's so good. Because I was going to mention like Star Fox, which again, I brought like some like where is it? Wait a minute, one sec. I've got it here somewhere. I'm just off screen looking for my Nintendo. Where's my SNES? Oh, there it is. No. Yeah, because I've got Star Fox somewhere, but I can't seem to find it. Oh, wait a minute, it might be here. One sec. Put my coffee down. Because everyone just hear me off screen right now. I'm sorry, folks. There we go, yeah. So I have just a couple of my SNES games here. So I've got Star Wing. And I was going to say, when you start the mission...
Oh, yeah, it's Star Wing over here.
Star Wing over here, not Star Fox. But I was going to say, I really like the digitized voices in that game. Damn it. Because they must have had to do some occult black magic shit behind the scenes to get a SNES to emulate the sound of human speech. Because the start of every Star Wing mission, I'll never forget, is always good luck.
Good luck.
In this super cool digitized voice.
That entire game is just black magic fuckery on the SNES.
How they got that to
the
work,
fact that they got that and the Super FX chip and stuff working to make polygonal models. Everyone at Nintendo was you guys are geniuses.
How did you figure this out? I also have Super Mario All-Stars, which is Super Mario 1, 2, and 3. And obviously some classic ones in that. But the game that I did want to give props to, people maybe didn't play, is Pop and Twin B, which is a game I ended up with on the SNES as a kid. I don't know how. I don't know where we got it from. But I really like the noises you get in that. When you activate your super, and it's like... Blah! And it's just you launch out, it's this screen clear of little bit bobbles. It's great. I've always loved that.
Another one I wanted to mention that's a little bit more modern.
Okay.
Is just pretty much from the entire series of just the Halo grunts and all of the different lines they have.
Not again!
I'll tell you what then. You mentioned Halo. Let's say, what do you think video game shooter-wise? What video game gun makes the best noise?
The energy sword.
The energy, that's a good one. And it technically is a gun because it has ammo. It's a sword with ammo. and I think mine, it has to be the MTAR assault rifle in Rainbow Six Vegas 1. And the reason why is when I was at, like 18 years old, I played that game religiously with a friend of mine. We played like Terrorist Hunt in his house, and he had like this massive 50-inch plasma screen TV downstairs and a huge sound system. And one time his parents were out and we turned all the lights off and the volume up to maximum. And I just remember, because that gun had the most ridiculous bloom and like, what's the word now?
Muzzle
flash when you shot it. Yeah. And he turned the volume on his soundbar all the way up to full. Put his character model inside my character model because, sound was proximity based in that game, and just held the trigger on the MTAR, and the entire screen just blew up, and all the sound, and the neighbours were called, what the fuck's going on at this guy's house?
It's funny because I knew that this was coming because I remember when we were at the old office at one point, and you did this to me. You were like, look, watch, I'm gonna do it to you and show you, and just like the entire office was.
So fucking loud, yeah. And I don't know why, obviously that's just the sound of a gun, but the fact it's so loud and so bright, it will never not stick out in my head. So we cover sound effects and music and stuff. Would you have a favourite voice line from a video game?
Ooh, see, I wasn't thinking voice lines, but there's one other sound effect I had in mind.
Okay, go on, what's that?
If you humour me, it's just the sound that haunts me to this very day of playing Sonic when you're in one of the underwater levels and and it's like no.
And it gets you every time. That's a good one. And I will say, those old school games, I'm not the biggest lover of Sega, but the Sega will live rent free forever. Sega! And I love that. Have you ever seen that breakdown? In early Sega games, this took up 1/8 of all the space on the console. Or the cartridge, sorry. Because it was that difficult to render.
Oh, it was worth it.
Yeah, it's all like the PlayStation 1 boot up noise. And I always thought that noise was cool, but I thought it was even better when someone pointed out to me, yeah, that's, if you listen to it, it's a digital orchestra warming up. You can hear it's these digitized strings, tick, 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 tick. I'll put the clip in, and then there's I always like the original Xbox one as well, of all the goo being wom wom wom, and then contains. It meant feel like there's power inside the machine.
I was literally about to mention that because that entire generation of those three consoles. 3 really solid boot up sequences because
we've got to give props to the GameCube one as well, which changed
the GameCube one
based on what game you were playing, and you could there was loads of Easter eggs with it, wasn't there? You can make it change noises and stuff, and make it go faster and slower.
And then obviously you had the PlayStation 2 noise as well, where while it was giving you the noise and booting up, you had different pillars of different sizes based on your memory card slots, and it's
games you'd played, and it's just oh god, it is an underappreciated aspect of game design in making noises that just sound good, especially those older games where some of these sound effects and songs you'd hear for hours on end, and to you not get sick of them. People get sick of Ed Sheeran when he has one album in the charts, but they don't get sick of the Route 1 theme in Pokemon.
Yeah.
And I think that's an underappreciated aspect of that era of video games. They not only had almost nothing to work with, they had to create something that you wouldn't get sick of hearing for hours and hours and hours and hours at a time. And they did it for the most part. There's only a couple of sound effects or songs that actively pissed me off. And I guess to end on, again, folks at home, if you want to join in the comments, least favourite sound effects, noises and songs, the ones that I actively put you off. She mentioned the Sonic one of being scared. It was any you listen to, oh god, I hate that noise. Or I dislike this song, I want it to shut up. Because the one for me is in Halo, the "you are on low health" noise. Of I know, I'm playing Legendary, I've been sniped. The boop 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 boop. Because you hear it the entire game on Legendary. It's just you're on the low, and then there's the whoop, as your shield goes back up, and then you just get shot again. It's fuck's sake.
Bowser.